Uh-oh.
Oh my gosh. Well, hi there. We're live.
Hello. Hey, Nick. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Just we're getting ready for the Long Beach coin show.
So I hear OC in the background.
Yeah, we're doing a little bit of inventory stuff to see what we're going to put out there.
Gotcha. I had to make a run over to my mom's house. She left her keys in the car, so I'm just getting zapped.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
You
so
never
I had
want to
to.
leave the keys in the car. That's the worst.
Yes, well, in her house keys and stuff, and she doesn't have one of those, newer cars where you can just call OnStar and say, "Unlock my door for me,"
Yeah.
But I love my OnStar.
Yeah, I don't have one of those either. You must have a fancy car.
No, well, no, it's just not a minivan.
Oh no, I hate the minivan. Never wanted that thing in the first place.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny. So let's say hello to our guests and we'll get right to it because
All right, let's see who we got in here.
We have a Celtics game that starts at 7.
All right, yeah, I've got a hard cutoff too. So
yeah.
Neil, welcome. Thank you for coming out. So Neil's always a great person to remind us about crystallized osmium. Do you know what that is, Nick?
I do know what that is, but it's not something I'm really into right now.
Yeah, maybe one of these days there'll be a show on that.
It's pretty. It's pretty.
It is pretty stuff. West Texas Stacker, welcome. Thank you for coming in and freaking awesome.
He's so freaking awesome.
Freaking awesome. Gerald Draper as well. He's been blowing up the chat with some good comments there. And then we've got OC Stacker. He's here too.
And Azure Blue.
Azure Blue. It says run. I think he was ready to start.
Let's go. And I'd like to encourage Azure Blue maybe one day to come on our program.
That would be great. And I think you'll have some good comments today for our show today.
He's got a lot of good insight, and I would really like to talk to him further.
Yeah, for sure. And we've got Hendo 19. Well, I guess it's just 19742. There's something to those numbers.
1974 too, yes. And then we miss Rich Mart, 1955.
Welcome.
Amy Harrell, good to see you. And Ellie, I like to see these ladies. And Snoopy also. And Yoke Fan.
Welcome, guys and gals.
And Stacker, Manor. It's going. I can't. Rabbit Hole.
Stacker, Man, Rabbit Hole. Okay.
And TX, Music Drummer, which is an interesting name. Gleason News, long time no see, my friend. Nice to see you. I hope you're doing very well. And Herman, nice to see you. And Deputy Gypsy Wolves.
The deputy.
And I'll let him be the deputy because I'm the sergeant. And I do have the badge. I can't find it right now though.
So do you have any silver with you today?
I did. I brought some silver with me today, and that's why I was running a little bit late too, because I wanted to go through some stuff. So yes, I brought some good stuff.
So I've got some stuff to show today too, to go along with our conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I think will be good. Did you see what happened to silver today?
It went up.
It did go up. Why?
Well, I don't know why. I have not been doing. I didn't have to work today, so I really haven't been. I go read my news at work.
Oh, I see. I
sit at my desk and we have to, keep up on the. Hi, Papa York. Good to see you. We have to keep up on our stuff, so I'm able to get, debriefed and all that good stuff on the day's news.
Nick's like, I need to debrief on some silver news. Anyway,
so tell me what happened today.
I don't know. I don't know what the news is on it. We'll have to look it up as we're going through today. Maybe some people can share it with us too today. What I do know is it's up there. I do know the miners up.
I have to give a very big shout out to Lisa, my very good friend in Hampton Consultants. I'm so glad because I know he's been busy. And Lisa, it's so good to see you. Grade 8 Scott, Homestead, and Fluff Nugget. Oh my gosh, it's good to see you guys.
Okay, Nick, I got some news.
Okay.
Hot off the press.
Okay, so what's the news for today?
All right, here's our news. Gold rallies as central banks prepare to cut. So they must be looking to cut. Well, we had a couple things come up. One is Macquarie Bank out of Australia basically announced today they're getting rid of all cash.
Yes, but we have to put that in perspective a little bit.
I know, but it's the first time we're really hearing anybody come out and say, "Hey, let's get rid of cash officially."
Yes, but it's still not an American bank.
It's not, but
it's not an American bank, and I know it's
dominoes. It's dominoes. It's the first one.
It is the first one, but again, are they going by U.S. or are they going by what is it, Australia? They are Australia, right?
So the idea is they're no longer going to accept cash deposits, and they're not going to allow cash withdrawals. So the issue there is it always starts somewhere.
It starts somewhere, but again, we got to put it in the perspective of the country and where their home base.
I will bet anybody it's coming here. I'll bet lots of money on it that it's coming here. I guarantee you it's coming.
Well, I have a correspondent. We'll say I have a correspondent that is does not think that that's going to happen in the American banks right now.
Yeah, right now is it? I don't know when. I don't know when it's going to happen. It depends on
you're right. It's again. I believe that it's going to happen. I've been very,
it might be 10 years. I'm not saying it's happening now. It could be 10, 20 years from now, but they are going to get rid of cash.
They will eventually.
Yep.
But again, I don't want everyone to rush and take all their cash out of a bank or think that banking is going under right now, because it's going to take a long time. And like you said, it has to start somewhere, but I believe it's going to be a slow drip. It's not going to happen all at once. And
no, it's not going to happen all at once. And I don't think it'll happen in this country until you have a CBDC that gets issued, in my opinion. I think you're going to see a digital currency going around first before they get rid of cash. But
and I remember this as well. The comment that's on the screen, I do remember this.
Yep. So it depends on who's in power, guys. That's a lot of what happens in this next election. If a certain political party is in power, you're more likely to have your cash go away and cryptos be fought, and gold and silver will continue to remain the way it is. If you have a different political party in power, we could see something totally different happen. We could see gold and silver be money again. Mm-hmm. So a lot of things could happen, but the idea of getting rid of cash seems to be the way that societies are going. They're going more towards digital. Yeah. A lot of try to go to a football game, a basketball game, or even a baseball game and use cash. They won't let you do it.
Well, at Fenway, I can use cash. So
that might be the last stadium. Most of the stadiums just do not allow cash anymore. So, in this country, we're less likely to have the legislature come out and ban cash or get rid of it. You're more likely to have businesses not accept it anymore and only take credit. And then it starts to become like, why would you even have cash? My bank is a regional bank. One of my regional banks that I work with, they now charge me if I put more than $2,000 cash in. They charge a percentage of the cash going in, and they charge a percentage of the cash going out.
Yes. And, my bank does not. But I do want to address this comment, because I do agree with this, but it says checks are nearly obsolete, and that is true. But I've seen that in the past couple of years where I'm not ordering checks myself, right? And so, but that took a long time to happen since we had gotten check cards. When we first got our check cards, people thought we were going to be getting rid of cash. I mean, this has been talked about for a very long time, and I know we're closer than we ever have been, but I think it's gonna be years. And I do think it's going to happen. I do think we're going to eventually go down to 3 small banks and then 1 bank. But again, it's going to be a very long time because people are going to bucket a little bit.
I agree. But I think it's going to be similar to what Andy Schekman talks about. It's little by little by little, and then all of a sudden it just happens. And that's, quickly.
And that's how we conform, right? It has to be slowly done, or
there has to be an event that's compelling. Like, this country, there's been enough people on YouTube talking about CBDCs and why you don't want them. The average person is aware of it now, because it's not coin channels like ours. It's, the big financial channels and even some of the news. People do not want a CBDC. They can't call it a CBDC anymore. And they can't just launch this new digital currency and expect people to pick it up. It's going to have to be it's going to have to be something that comes as like a stimulus payment, or they start
like Social Security payment, or maybe a tax. It will be your tax refund, and they're going to say, well, if you want your tax refund, that's the only way you're going to get it, because and there are still some people that get Social Security payments through their check. I know I talk to people at work, especially veterans, that are very set in their ways, and they get their Social Security check through the mail. And of course, we've been having problems with our mail lately. So they've been calling and saying, look, we're not getting our checks because the mail, they're losing it in the mail. And, they're in, some of them are a little bit paranoid about things. So, and some of the, things that they've gone through. So they're definitely not going to accept ACH. They're not going to do that. So I think we're going to.
It also has to do with the people's age and what they're used to and how they've done business in the past. People that are, I would say probably in their 60s and over are less likely to adopt cryptocurrency than people that are in their 20s and 30s. So you definitely have that going for you too. Now, the other issue that could come out too is in Europe, they're starting to do plastic currency instead of the paper. So, and there's chips and stuff that they may be adopting into those. So there's some interesting, funky things that are coming out that may happen in the future. But what it seems to be is the future is all about traceability, okay? Not tracking, traceability, the serial numbers and being able to know where you spend your money. So think of like, the financial apps you can download where you can link all your banks and credit cards to it and you can track your own stuff. It seems to be the government's going in that direction to be able to track and collect taxes.
And they really already kind of are, right? I mean, through our, the way we pay things through PayPal, for example, they're tracking our transactions, and the only way really not to track them would be use cash or don't spend. Right.
So going back to the gold stuff, why gold's up and silver's probably following suit to a degree is we've got some banks that are talking about cutting rates internationally. And but so there's some belief that might happen here in the US. Honestly, I don't think rate cuts happen until the fall. Prior to the election. And I actually don't think they're going to happen at all this year unless we have like a black swan or we have some kind of major financial meltdown.
I think they're going to remain the same.
I think they'll just keep the same.
I think they're going to same, even though they should be going up. I think after the election, we'll start seeing what they're going to do, but it's political. I 100% think it's political. And I believe that they're one-sided to one party.
Parties have different beliefs on this stuff, on what money is and how to tax, and Keynesian versus Austrian economics make a big difference. Tax cuts versus more taxes, all that kind of stuff. Personally, I'd love to see the income tax go away. I'd love to be able to earn my, grow my money and be able to do more with it versus getting penalized for investing.
We talk about income tax and all that's great, but I think, yes, I would like to see that, but I would like to see corporate taxes lowered first.
A corporate tax is a tax on everybody that interacts with that corporation.
Well, yes, but again, if they were a lot cheaper here and they were able to, I think that we'd have more companies still in the USA.
You would have that if you got rid of all corporate taxes.
Well, I don't say get rid of it, but I really believe that corporations are.
Yeah, but it's still a tax on the people. I mean, it's a tax that goes to anybody that uses that business. If you tax Coca-Cola, your Coke goes up. They don't eat the tax on their profitability. They pass it on to their consumers. So any kind of a tax that is in a corporate side does get passed down to the consumers of that company and everything else. So in addition to keeping companies here, Nick, it would also help stimulate business if you have that. So you got to look and see.
And then it gets people jobs, and then it gets more taxpayers, and then maybe you can lower the tax rates if you have more people working and paying taxes.
Yep.
But I think that it is important that our corporations get a little bit of a break so that jobs come back to the United States, and we have more United States products being made here.
Yep. I would love to see that happen. We should be doing more manufacturing. We've closed a lot of our plants and our facilities down. I mean, all the chips were pretty much made over in Taiwan. And you can see, you can see the freak out of what happens if China goes after Taiwan. All of a sudden we come to a halt. You can't even make an iPhone anymore or an Android phone.
In my state alone, I can think of, just for the company my father worked for, lumber. 5 companies just in my vicinity, 5 mills were shut down. Those were great paying jobs. I mean, especially in the 80s, they could work overtime, and these guys were rolling in the dough. And you would see all these large homes that were built around the mills, and these like little towns that were around these mills, and they were making good money. They were giving a lot of money to the school systems. They were giving a lot of money back so they gave back to their communities. And now that they're gone, a Canadian company has purchased all the mills, and they will not reopen. So just think about how much lumber could have gone down if lumber was being still produced here in my state alone, or in the United States, period. So
yeah, it can make huge
lumber has gone up. I don't know how, I mean, considerably in the past couple of years.
And our biggest problem is we have a spending problem. we don't have a revenue problem from taxes. We are pulling in more taxes than we ever have in history. But we spend a ton of that stuff. So you definitely have all that issue.
Yeah. Well, taxes have gone up for people. So we may be paying more, they may be getting more tax money, but the more tax burden on the people that are working. And then you have too many handouts, in my opinion. And so that doesn't help either, because are they paying taxes?
No.
The tax burden is on a lot of people, and they just keep going up for the people that are working, and but the jobs are not here.
I'm just glad living in California, we don't get taxed here.
Taxed on, that's sarcastic, right? Because I was going to say, I think I gave you the top 5 tax-paying states, and I believe it was Hawaii, New York, California, Maine, and I can't remember the 5th. But no, I'm sorry, Maine was the 4th in line. So yeah, that's right. So I don't remember the 5th. But so yes, the tax burden is on very few people that are working, because there's no work here in the state.
It is. So you get all this stuff with taxes and everything else. I mean, you got to pay for infrastructure, you got to pay for security, you got to pay for, certain parts of the government, but it definitely does seem like it's, it has definitely gotten bloated over the years. So we got all that. So Nick, kind of going back though, what I was talking about earlier with that notification of cash going away. The reason I bring that up too is there's a lot of conversation in the chats of these different YouTube channels that are talking about that particular event being announced today. And a lot of people are talking about, are they going to come after gold and silver? Is it going to stick around? Can you use it? Are they going to shut down all the coin stores? Are you going to be able to sell it, and everything else that goes on? And
shutting down coin stores, I mean,
it goes back to your point earlier. I really don't see all that stuff happening. I don't see them closing down everything and getting rid of it. What I see is a lot of states are going the opposite direction. They're trying to make it so that you can use more gold and silver, and maybe even pay your taxes, your state taxes, your state property taxes in gold and silver.
And I can tell you that my state, hard no. It was voted on last summer, and they said no. So it's not even considered as legal tender in my state. But of course, we had a few that really tried to pass it. It did not pass. And I called them every single day to let them know what I thought that they should do, because they are our representatives every single day. And I got an answering machine when I called my state representatives. But I'll tell you what,
no, that's good. I don't have much choice of if I send anything to Sacramento, they're just going to burn it, or they won't answer your phone. So you don't have a lot of choice here in California, but
I like those as well.
Engelhard Prospect rounds, yes, those are great. I think I've
got.
I
don't buy them anymore, but I do have a few.
Yeah. So let's talk about the silver now, Nick. So I'm in the process of getting ready. We're hoping to get a booth for. We thought we had a booth, and it looks like that's not going to happen. So we're trying to figure out if I can get another booth for the Long Beach Coin Show. So we're going to share one with another person we've done a video with in the past. It looks like they're not going to have a spot for us there. So we're trying to see if we can get our own. Mm-hmm. In the process of doing that, I'm going through some of my inventory, trying to figure out what to price it at. You know, what do I want to sell? What do I want to hold on to? And this is what I've been noticing that's very interesting. If you take a silver round, I'll have to get up in a second to go get some of them to show you guys, but a silver round follows the spot price very, very closely. So if you bought them when spot price was at $17 or less, yeah. You're going to throw it at me? Got a silver round coming at me fast. All right.
This is a great question, though, too. Mm-hmm.
So Nick, how much would these have probably cost if you were to buy one when spot was at 17?
Gosh, I don't know, because I never bought silver when spot was 17. I wish I had, but I did not. And those are the examples that I brought down with me too.
Okay. So when did you buy these? When's the lowest you've seen spot at?
What's the lowest I purchased these? Probably $25.
Okay, but was spot at 25 or was spot at like?
And I don't remember what spot was at, but I'll tell you what, in my spreadsheets now, I have been starting to put what spot price is on the day that I purchased, but I didn't back then. But that's something that I do now.
Let's just say spot price is at $20 when you bought this, when I bought this, okay? And let's say I paid $23 for it. Let's say it was a $3 premium, okay?
That's not,
and today we're sitting at $28 something cents or so. And let's say it's still a $3 premium.
Okay.
So the silver didn't really go up in price. If you look at it from a pure inflation standpoint, you know, it may have just readjusted itself, but let's just for a second take that away and let's just talk about the price going up. So if I were to try to go buy one of these right now for 25, I don't think I'm going to find it anywhere for 25. I don't think anybody's going to do that. And that's going to be because spot is already above that. So the melting price of this is going to be,
okay.
I'll do one
better. So what did you say spot price was for today?
Should be around $28.35 or so.
Okay. So that Buffalo round right now at spot, what it is, I found that for $29.86. I can go buy that for $29.86 with spot price right now.
Okay. And how many of those can you buy?
That's unlimited.
Okay. And is that from a place that everybody else could go buy from, or is it a place you can't share?
No, I don't mind sharing. Okay. Well, Gold Club Direct. I don't know if that's hi, Andy Resnick. I haven't seen you in a while. Hi, JC. I don't know. Is that a club type place? I don't know. I'm not sure. So we'll just go to the next one in line. Bullion exchanges, which anybody can purchase. And that would be $30.39. And that's $1.99 over spot.
Okay. So this follows spot pretty closely. We could all agree.
Yes, because it's generic rounds. Yes.
Okay, let's see. Hand me something expensive. Stupid expensive over there.
Okay. So my rule of thumb.
Though.
Hi, Mr. Doughboy. Mr. Doughboy.
Here's another silver coin. Okay.
Ew. I wouldn't buy that.
She doesn't know what this is. She can't. There's no reference to it. What movie is from? What movie is that from?
Walking Dead?
No, Star Wars.
Oh.
In time, Nick. But it is a coin because it does have a
denomination.
A denomination on it. It's from New Way. Okay. This is 3 ounces. Okay. And the price for this, I think I paid $300 for it.
Everybody in the chat knows where it comes from.
Everybody knows where it comes from. Okay, I just want to make a point here that's important. It has to do with talking about don't invest in silver or be very careful doing it. So I bought a handful of these directly from the Perth Mint. I think it's the Perth Mint that makes these. Maybe it's the New Zealand Mint. Maybe it's New Zealand Mint that makes these. So I bought these directly from the mint, and they got stuck in customs, which cost me $75 to get them out of customs. I didn't know anything over $600 coming internationally is going to get stuck in customs, and then they're going to hold it hostage. But when I bought these, they were $300, and guess what they sell for right now?
I'm sorry, I have no. I'm not educated on that because I wouldn't look at that.
Do you think it's? Do you think? Okay, that's fine. It's 3 ounces when it came out, it was $300 about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Do you think it's selling for more than $300 today or less?
Probably
Spot's
not.
gone up. Spot was
But
way
so take spot times 3. It's I wouldn't pay that much.
I'm not asking if you buy it or not. I'm saying this is a collectible, right? They only minted like 5,000 of these or 3,000.
Again, I always have to base my decisions on like spot price and how popular they are. I don't know because I'm not into Star Wars, so I really don't know.
Stop. Okay, forget that for a second. I can pull up other stuff over here. Let me get you something else that'll make more sense to you. Okay, you've got a Captain Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the Calico Jack before? Okay.
No, but I'll just play the game.
Okay, so play the game here because there's a point we're trying to make. It's what the whole show's about. When you look at this coin right now, this coin was purchased for more than $3 spot. Okay, these coins were going when spot was at about $24. These coins were going for about $30. Okay, and they did that for a very short period of window when they were still available, right when they launched. Shortly after that, when they hit the secondary market, they jumped up to closer to about $40. Okay. Today, this coin is still worth $40, even though spot's gone from $24 up to $28. The price of this has not moved at all, not even an inch. It's the same price. If anything, there's enough of these around that people are not willing to pay $40 for them anymore. The price is now starting to come back down. The Buffalo round, it does go up with spot price and it goes down with spot price. So what I found, and I just want to bring that out to everybody, and it's the same with both of these tend to be pretty static. They don't really go up and down with spot price. So they may be a little bit better to hold when you have prices going down on spot because they tend to hold. But when price is going up on spot, they're horrible. They don't do anything.
No, and I mean, I got my own examples of things that I've purchased that I'm not going to ever see the money that I put into them. And they were really popular at the time.
There you go. So sometimes you buy these because they're fun and you want to hold on to one. But every once in a while, people will think of, instead of stacking or instead of just getting one as a collectible to have, what ends up happening is people will say, hey, and I did this with these. I bought 3 of these thinking, hey, I can flip them and resell them and make some money on it. I ended up losing money on those. They did not make any money. And I have stopped doing that with silver because I have found that silver is a horrible investment for me.
Well, really, it's not an investment.
Well, it's not an investment. If you're buying these to flip on your eBay store, you are buying it as it's a business investment, right?
It is first, but you have to be, it's a short window. There's not a large window for that investment. So if you're going to sit on it for a minute, it's not an investment unless you're able to sell it somewhere quickly.
So they're short-term investments. They're not long-term investments, right? They're going to be a short-term investment. Okay,
but if you purchase that and you only have one, and then you say, okay, I'm going to sell it tomorrow. Really, is that a good investment? Are you going to really get over how much over are you going to get for that just one?
So my gold, I've made about a 50% return on the gold I sell. I make a bunch on my gold. My silver, I've lost a lot of money on it.
So even if you purchase now, we'll say like, I think Azure Blue just said that if you are a dealer and you have a whole tube of those and it's hot right now, you're going to make a little bit more money because you have a whole tube that you're able to sell. Now, if you're just buying 1 or 2 to flip it at the end, we'll say in that window, you're not going to make a lot of money. So why bother? Because it's not an investment to me.
That's what the show's about.
Right. So
why invest in the silver, right? So I'm not saying don't buy silver. I'm not saying don't stack it. What I'm saying is, I have bought tubes of coins like this, and I can make some money off of it, but it doesn't hit every time. Some coins end up being popular, some are not popular.
And I'm sorry, but that's great. But somebody that you were able to purchase a whole tube, but somebody like me, I was, and this is some mistakes that I made in my beginning. And of course, I do not do this anymore. But for example, this Hulk, I was listening to a YouTuber say, oh, these are hot. The movie's coming out. Go ahead and get it. And then you're going to be able to flip it soon and make a little bit of money. No, I'm not. And they were able to make
YouTube or you buy one. It's the same principle though, Nick.
Exactly.
You bought that because you thought you were going to invest in it.
I did but then I quickly realized, unless I'm like that YouTuber and I'm sitting here selling these in an auction and I have a whole tube of them, great. I have an avenue, I have a place, a platform where I can sell this, and I don't have to pay large fees. Now, me, the person sitting back listening to that YouTuber, I'm going to say, okay, well, platform for me is eBay, and look at all the fees you have to pay. So really, you've got to pay attention to who you are listening to and who is educating you, because you know what? This stuff right here, it's not an investment, people. One or two is not going to do anything for you. And then even if you have to sell it on eBay.
I've got 2 tubes over here of Looney Tunes have done nothing. Now I paid like $28 for them. So I didn't lose money on them. They're still worth more. I could go and sell them for probably $30.
Well, who are you going to sell? Because I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to be able to sell. Okay, I'll use an example that I
can take them to my LCS and break even on them right now. I'd actually make a little bit of money. They'd pay a little bit on that, but if I sell them on, yours won't. I've got one that'll take it at spot for that. But when you look at it, it's okay on that. Now my black flag pirate ship coins, I bought those at about $32 and I sold most of them between 45 and 50.
So I want to be clear though. You were able to do that.
I had to pay 8% fees on eBay.
Okay.
And so to me, it wasn't worth continuing to do that kind of a business, because selling one coin at a time and making $3, making $5 is not worth my time that it takes to mail the things and do all that stuff. I've got better ways. So for me, it hasn't really paid off. But what I want to point out is it's like every so many of them will do well, but a lot of them don't do that well. And so when people are thinking of, hey, I'm going to buy a tube, or I'm going to buy 2 or 3 coins and it's going to go well, some products just don't move very fast. A lot of people bought these thinking they were going to do well and they would flip them. They didn't do so well.
So I just want to but on a rule of thumb, we'll just say you have purchased all these stupid things that I just showed you, right? Now, if I was to grab these and I said, okay, I need money today, I need to go to my local coin store and I just need to say, I need to cash these in. You are not going to get much over spot. I don't care what it is.
No, so
the rule of thumb, you can say
down, what you're going to get pretty close to the same price. You might get a little bit of a premium for this, but not much.
Not much of a premium, because the coin stores don't care. They're not going to, stores, they're going to give you the silver value of something. So rule of thumb for me is that if I go into a coin store, I am going to get close to spot and nothing more. You go to a pawn shop, they're not going to give you much over spot. So if you have to dump your stuff quickly and you don't have anybody to sell to except a local coin store, you can just expect spot or maybe a couple dollars over. Premiums are out the door, in my opinion, when it comes to local coin stores. The premiums we pay, that's why I'm so big on premiums, because you know what? I'm going to lose.
So let's say spot price right now is $30. Okay. You go a little bit. Spot price is at $30, and you can buy one of these for $33, right? Okay. And you can buy one of these for $40, right? Wherever that spot price goes, it goes up or down. You're going to see these actually stay pretty close when you go to an LCS. They're going to maybe give you for this one here, they may give you an extra 50 cents. They may give you another 30 cents. I mean, we're not talking much money that they give you, but you're still paying a premium when you bought this, right? You're still going to pay like a $2 or $3 premium on these, maybe more. So you've got your percentage you bought it at. Even if you're buying wholesale, you're still going to pay a premium on top of it. It costs money to mint these things. They're not
right. But a lot of people are not. Okay, I'm not able to go to a wholesaler because I can't buy that much at a time to get it for a wholesale price. So that's, I mean, I know you're able to, and that's great, but I'm not.
That price looks like wholesale.
I'm sorry?
Those Buffalo round pricing that you just pulled up, that was like less than $1 over spot.
Right. But that usually is what it is. And I mean, I can tell you guys where I found that too, just so you'll know. It's findbullionprices.com, and go in to see what you look for, and they'll give you a list of where to go. Now, I say 39 is going to be the price if you pay by check or through like an it's not going to be through your credit card or your check card. You're not going to get that pricing. It'd have to be a check, or put your checking account number in when you're cashing out. And that's, you can buy as many as you want. And then of course I also have to incorporate my taxes I have to pay and shipping on top of that. And I always do, but that's where I go find my prices. But I also continue to look around, because that doesn't pull from everybody, from all the bullion companies. So I do go still look. So, but that is where I start. And that's where I just found that. And so
here's a good point right here, Nick. Design is not a hedge against inflation. Weight is. So this right here is fairly recognizable. So we're going to be your maples and your eagles, right?
The maple's not generic. So a maple's not going to give, you're going to pay more for a maple than you would that.
A little bit more. Those are going to be easy to find and see, right? This is going to be pretty rare. You're not going to see these as much, and they might be really fun. And maybe you like pirates and you like the design. You are paying a premium for the design here that you're not going to get back when you sell it. The premium's gone. If you are trying to say that
you can pretty much say the premium's gone on everything, really. Eagles, maples. Because if you
once you pay the premium, it's gone. It's out the door. It's gone. You paid it, right? Like, and when you go back to sell it, the store doesn't go, oh, you paid a $3 premium. Let me give you the $3 premium back.
Yeah, right. Metal Dragon. But you're not going to get. That's why my strategy has changed. I wanted as close to spot as I can get it at that moment, and hopefully, eventually, spot will continue to go up, and I will get out what I put into it. But that's why my strategy has changed. Now, for a time when the premiums were on American Silver Eagles, I stopped buying them because the premiums were too high. But then when they came down and I was getting it like $2 over spot, $3 over spot, I bought a bunch of them. But I did not buy them when the premiums were up. So I'm just going to show you a couple another examples of things that I made a mistake in my very beginning, and that I quickly learned not to do again. And that was to buy, and I didn't buy this. I actually think I won this in a box battle or something. But this is one. I do not buy graded eagles. I do not buy, I mean, in my opinion, do not buy bullion coins that are graded. They're bullion, and I should have said coins, but they're bullion. I'm not. Why grade them?
Now I've only bought one, and that was the Type 1, and it was the last day that they made Type 1s, mm-hmm. And that's the only one I'll ever buy that's graded. It was kind of a rare thing, and it was cool, but that was it.
Like this one says First Strike. You know what? My local coin store isn't going to give a crap if it was First Strike or Last Strike. So even this here,
it's kind of cool to me, and I decided to do it, and it's one I'll hold on to pass to my kids. But I think the point that we're trying to make here for everybody too that's listening and watching is
look at Joe Boy's example. I used this with Sufer the other day. I said it's like buying like buying something, and then exactly. I use this analogy
because they've got the cost of the coin, right, or the round, the silver, and then they have to mint it, which is going to cost a little bit of money, and then they've got to ship them out and all that stuff. But the thing to remember with silver is your premiums are a lot higher than your premiums with gold, and so you're not going to get the premium back. You have to wait for the price to go. Silver is much more highly manipulated than gold is, and therefore you don't see as much of a spread in the price of it, right? And so that premium is such a high percentage. Oftentimes people are paying 20% or higher for these coins. You've got to be really careful. So I don't recommend investing in silver. If you're crazy crazy like me, where you think, hey, let's go start selling this stuff and buying it wholesale. I can buy it wholesale, but that doesn't mean I'm going to make enough of a spread to make the business work. And so I found that silver is really hard to do it in. My gold has been much more successful, buying 10th ounces at, $210, $220, and then selling those for $245, $255. Even up to $300. There's a lot more margin in them. Premiums are lower. you can do more with that. So for
and that's
me,
funny that you say that, though, because it's, we hear that all the time, and I've been a very big advocate on fractional gold. But because you said with the 1/10, and you were saying you're able to make money, and I've preached that since day one, because that's all I do buy. So I just want people that you can really do well if you watch your premiums on gold. And I've been in very early on, I made sure of a premium that I would not go over, and I have done that. I've stuck to that. So
I'll just point out a few of them. Like here's a kookaburra. So I don't normally recommend you go pick these guys up. You're better off just getting like eagles, in my opinion. But when you find these at a good price, you can turn around and sell them. But these are great.
Now, I heard of a local. I heard a dealer that said those particular things that he's showing you right now, that they're going to give you spot or just a little bit below spot, because anything other than the American Gold Eagle, they're going to melt, because nobody cares about those. They do not care about foreign gold, and that even goes with pesos. So when I heard that, that was a really big eye opener, because I didn't know that. Even though I do like to stay with the American Gold Eagles, and I'm not much into those pretty ones, because there's more of a premium on those. There can be sometimes more of a premium on those.
There can be. So you got to buy them right. You've got to buy them below what their value is, and then you have to have a way of selling these. I can sell these on eBay for $300. Ooh. So I can do that. That's a lot more than melt. But to your point, Nick, I would not be buying a lot of fancy stuff, guys, either gold or silver, unless you have an avenue to sell it at retail. If you can't sell it at retail through a platform, definitely don't invest in it. I don't invest in gold. I buy wealth insurance, just like I do car insurance. And then with my silver, it's mostly to be able to use this stuff in case I need to use it for money someday.
They say that gold, that you're using it for protection. But when I started buying 1/10, and it was $1,400 spot price, and my premiums, I made sure my premiums were very low, because, as you know, I don't go over a certain amount, that I've done well. And if I went to sell it, even to an online bullion company, I still made money plus my premiums back and more.
But did you actually make money? What was the inflation rate? How much was it to buy stuff?
Okay, yes, I understand that, but without factoring that in, I mean, we could factor all those amounts in, but I still have more fiat cash in my pocket than I put out for it. You
do, but in my opinion, you have to always include the inflation rate, because
but when I did sell it, I still made more money for myself than when I purchased it.
You did. All I'm saying is, with precious metals right now, we haven't seen, every time there's a cycle, what happens is the prices go above inflation and they go below inflation. What I mean by that is adjusted historically. When the prices are above the inflation, you're getting a benefit. You actually have made more money. A lot of times we feel like we've made more money, but all we're really doing is we're just seeing inflation hit through fiat.
Yes, yeah. And we understand that. But there are some things that maybe I picked up during that time, and we'll say in silver, and I went to my local coin store and I've burned a lot of money.
Yeah. So that's kind of, the reason I wanted to call this don't invest in silver is I have found it to not be a very good investment where you're trying to make money from it. I have found gold to kind of be okay if you have a retail way of selling it. Outside of that, I think gold's great insurance for wealth, and I think silver is great to use for potential SHTF and in other situations like that. But to your point, Nick, you always want to be buying with as low a premium as you can. And I do think it's really important to set a premium for yourself that is kind of your standard. So for you've got a standard on the 10th ounce gold.
Thank you for asking.
Is it 50? What was your percent?
I do not go for 15%, but now that the gold has gone up, the premiums have come down. So I am making my new goal 12%.
Okay.
And when I was only going up to my 15%, we were seeing premiums up all the way from 20 to 28% in that range. So when I did my cost averaging, and I wasn't paying over 13% premium during those times. So the deals are out there, but it's just, you have to be patient. You have to look and not be willing to just settle, or even, it's patience.
It is. So I've got another example I wanted to show you, if I can. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
This is something my parents gave me. And now I'm dropping the COAs all over the floor.
Thank you, freaking awesome.
So take a look at this. What year is that?
84.
Okay, so United States Olympic coins. So it was in Los Angeles. My parents went to, I think, some of the games, and then they picked this cool setup.
Mm-hmm, it's pretty.
So here's what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And here are they're not in there very good.
They're all gone.
Yeah. All right. They are protected, and it hit my keyboard, so we're safe. But here was the Coliseum, right? So that's a proof silver coin. I have no idea how much they paid for these coins, but I can guarantee it was a lot less than you would buy a proof today. And here's the other one. And then the center one that was missing in there was actually platinum, and they turned that into a necklace for my wife. So I just wanted to show you guys that.
But really, in reality, so the whole set's not together.
The whole set is not together, but I could take this out of the gold clasp and put it back in the set if I needed to.
But it might be damaged. The condition. I mean, you know what I mean, though.
It's never been worn, unfortunately.
Okay. But nevertheless, it was still manipulated to put it in. I mean, it still was handled to put in that necklace and all that good stuff. So
yeah, but I wouldn't. No one's going to know that unless there's damage to it. So there could be damage.
I would know that if you're looking at the set. Because if I'm looking at that set, I'm going to take my loop and I'm going to look at everything, especially stuff like that from the U.S. Mint.
It's platinum. It may not be damaged. I don't know.
A collector in that type of stuff from the U.S. Mint is going to look at everything, because some of those sets,
it's never been used. It's been put in a set. It still may be fine. It may not be, but you could always take it out and put it back in if you care. But I don't think the set's worth any more money than just the metal itself by a whole lot. It might be if you find a collector, but at the end of the day, it's just the same amount of metal as any other.
Right, but in those particular things, there could be a collector that would pay over what was paid in 84 for that.
For sure. But it's, we didn't buy it to care for that. We bought it to, it's kind of a fun keepsake.
I know. And that's the difference between the collector in me and the stacker in me. Okay. So I'm going to have different thoughts on different items when it comes to,
but at the end of the day, it's only worth what someone's willing to pay you for it.
And that is true. But again, it's a collector versus a stacker mentality. And there's two mentalities when you're looking at this stuff.
So this is a really rare kookaburra to get. It has a higher premium. It's not extremely expensive, but I want to say it's like $45 or something like that.
84, Andy.
This you would not consider a collectible.
Not me, no, because I don't particularly care for those type. I have one kookaburra just because I said, oh, I don't have one in my stack. Maybe I need to get one. And I did get one. And I mean, I don't care, for that kind of stuff. And so I look at it as like, I'm just going to go to the store and if I traded it, they're going to just give me maybe $1 or $2 over spot if I'm lucky.
But this set you would care more about from 1984.
I would.
And why would you pay more for that than just for,
depending on condition and stuff? Well, because it's the collector in me. I mean, there's a lot of people that do still collect U.S. Mint products and still collect.
So is collecting investing?
Sometimes it can turn into investment, yes. But but a collector in me is not setting out to, for example, my Walking Liberty collection. When I started that collection, it was because of the love of numismatics and the love of coins, the love of history, the whole 9 yards, right? So blah, blah, blah. Eventually it turned into an investment for me, but I did not set out for it to be an investment for me. When I am buying this stuff here, I'm buying this as you said, I'm using it now as almost like a savings account. Okay. My collectibles are something that I definitely would pass on to my child. This stuff here, if I needed to go sell it, I'm going to go sell it. But I would think twice about selling my collectibles.
So I want to do a quick shout out. We had 365 Days of Silver came on a second ago, and he gifted 5 memberships. So I want to thank him for that. He's got a great channel if you guys haven't been over there to check him out. And he's had some controversy recently, so you guys can go check that out. But
I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah, we're not going to go there.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm nosy. I'd like to know.
I'll tell you offline. But anyway, he's got some great videos over there, and he also has some pretty cool coins that he shows.
Thank you for coming, Lisa. Thank you.
What I did want to say, Nick, is when you're looking at it, and this is where I think it's important to make distinctions. So, as a person that likes Star Wars, I'm willing to pay a little extra for something like this that I think is pretty cool, and I think in 50 years from now, this might be a little bit more of a collectible piece. I may buy something like that because I care and I like it. I would not recommend buying modern stuff like that to try to turn into an investment. They usually have too high of mintages. It's a little bit too recent. There's nothing that's historical in value to it. People like Nick that are collectors aren't really going to look at that and say, hey, that's something I want to get because they only made 3,000 of it. She didn't even know what movie it was from. So there's no reference point. It means nothing to her.
It depends on what type of, collectible. When I say collector,
if this was Tom Brady, then she might pay the premium.
Not really. No, not anymore. No, because people will say, I'm only going to buy that from you so I can melt it. So I'm not going to. No, I want my silver as closest a spot to get it. And I don't care if it's ugly now.
Okay, but when you look at collectibles, your collectibles are definitely more expensive than spot price.
Right, but I'm not into collectibles. If I'm going to collect anything, it's going to be.
Let's talk numismatics. Okay. When you look at a numismatic coin, it really is not worth more than the metal. Period.
True.
It's only worth the metal with any of this stuff, right? And the metal price is dependent on what the supply and demand market is, no matter how manipulated it is. That's what the price is. So if you try to take a,
Goodbye, Lisa. Thank you so much for coming in. It was nice to see you. Very nice to see you. Okay. Let me just
let's say you try to take some pre-30 gold to a store. It's not graded, and you take it to a coin store. You may get spot price for it. You may get a little bit of a premium for it if it's a more rare date. But in general, it's still worth the metal. Now, the reason numismatic coins have additional value to them is because there's a bunch of people that like to collect them, that see the extra added value in them. There's fewer of them. And depending on the grades. And
there's not always fewer than them, because Morgan's, still, there was very high mintages. So you really have to look at your,
certain years had lower mintages. Some of them, like Carson City. We were just looking at a Carson City one. I don't own one, but I saw one the other day. And those are there's fewer of them. So you'll end up getting these prices that run up on them. But that price is really based on the demand for it and what people are going after, right? So if we got to the point, Nick, and the only silver you had was your Walking Liberty set, and it was the only thing you had to buy bread with, and one of those would be the same amount as the Washington quarter, what would you do? Would you use it to buy bread, or would you starve?
Well, that's a hard one to answer, because I don't mind going without lunch. I haven't eaten today yet. So we had to come. No, I'm time out. But if it was to feed my family, I know my exit strategy. So I would be able to get the money out of it that I wanted out of it. Because I do have
there's no coin stores anymore, okay? No electricity, no coin stores.
Well, if we're talking about a different event, and that's if it hits the fan. So if that's going to happen, we're going to kind of have a little bit of a warning. So I'm going to get rid of that stuff while I can get the price for it. So it's about being smart.
So you can't. So let me back up my hypothetical. Do you have other silver?
I'm going to do hypothetical. So I can't do hypothetical. I can only go. I mean, you guys know I'm not hypothetical. I've had to have facts, and because we are going to see things, we're going to know things. I don't want to do hypothetical. I mean,
okay. Well, you're seeing them right now. Okay, we're seeing the signs right now that we're going to have problems in the future. You still have the to you right now, it's not a great enough danger that you're willing to sell it yet. But you did say you were buying coins like these or rounds like these, right? The buffaloes.
Middle drive, and we are.
So if you're buying these, you would probably use these first before you used your set.
Yes, I would. Yes, I would. But I might even use my constitutional silver that I'm stacking because it is fractional already for me, right? So why would I want to use my silver rounds that are 1 ounce? I'm going to use my fractional first. Okay. So
in your fractional, your constitutional silver is not an investment per se to try to make a bunch of money down the road, but it's an investment in your future, in your food security, in protecting your family.
Yes.
Okay.
So
this is the coin I just found. I guess it's not mine. It's one of my friends. But there's a Carson City. So I know Azure Blue was saying that there was only 13 years that they had them. So that makes it a little bit more rare. But
I asked a coin dealer about that too. And he said they really does not make them more rare because it's about condition with a lot of them. So look at an 1878 CC. I mean, unless you're really in these high conditions, are you going to really make a lot of money with those?
For sure. But even this one here at MS63.
Okay, I didn't look at the grade. Yeah, sure. Yeah. But that doesn't necessarily make them rare. Like, for example,
they're more rare because there were only 13 years of them being printed versus coming out of Philadelphia.
Yeah,
there were more years that they minted, more years that they minted them. So, you got to look at populations. It's a little bit relative, but the concept here, guys, is you've got recent modern coins like these kookaburras that a lot of times we're paying a lot of premium for these things. Okay, they're very beautiful looking coins. They would look great on a desk. You're going to put it in your safe. You're not going to look at it. You've got fun collectible coins like this. Same thing. You're probably not going to put it out on your desk. You're probably going to put it in a safe. That stuff really just does not pull in the big premium. So make sure you're buying stuff you love.
Right. Yeah. And that's just it too. So, and I think I said the other day, the shiny, pretty stuff used to excite me, but now what excites me is the deal. I want, it's the chase. I want something, for me, that's what excites me now, because I realized when I was buying this stuff, it gives me joy for a second. And then you get it in the mail and you open your package and then you put it in your safe and then it's gone. And it's like that, right? It's fleeting. So what brings me joy is
you enjoyed chasing dates, right? You were chasing after dates. And then are you starting to chase after quality?
No, because I wanted this. I don't care what it is. I wanted as close to spot as I can get it.
Your collectible coins, not your collectible coins. Your numismatic coins.
You know my numismatic coins right now. I have been going.
Right.
Yes, and my collection is set. So I'm not chasing numismatic coins, except right now Morgans are hot. So there are some Morgans that are going to be going, like you said, there's some CCs, but not all CCs. But for example, I purchased at an auction for $50, and I don't remember the date because I sold it just as fast as I purchased it because of pictures. And it had a beautiful rainbow. Some people go cuckoo over the particular color of a Morgan. I mean, there's a lot that goes. So I sold that coin for $400. And I paid $50 at a small auction. So those are the type of things that I'm chasing right now. So I can because money is tight right now because of inflation. We're spending more money. We just had to put propane in our tank. And even though we're not heating the house with it right now, my hot water heater's still on it. Electricity's gone up. So in food, groceries, my daughter's school, we just got a bill in the mail saying that they're going up on tuition, even though she had a lot of scholarships. There's a lot of things that go into college educations right now. So I'm able to take that money and AKA Brett, long time no see. I'm able to take the profits that I make from things that I purchase at auction and I flip, and I'm able to buy silver and I'm able to buy the gold that I want, because other than that, I would not be able to afford it right now.
I completely agree. So here's the thing. Everybody gets into buying gold and silver for different reasons. I first started doing it as an inflation hedge with gold. Many of you started with silver. I had the ability to buy some gold, and I wanted to hedge with inflation. I knew it was going on. I also went to Costco and bulked up on bulk stuff, which was another good hedge. I actually saved about 25%, maybe more, by buying a bunch of stuff from Costco and storing it in my garage for a while. But I started as an inflation hedge, and then I started to find fun collectible stuff, Nick, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, this has been a great conversation. And I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it's 7 o'clock. We have a Celtics game on. But I do want to show you one other thing too, just kind of the things that I made a mistake in my beginning that I will not do again. And that is, it's a maple, just a regular maple. It's not a big deal. It's a 2022. I think I purchased, no, actually my mother bought this for me for Christmas. And I told her never to do that again. But in these here, why do we need these things? It's just almost like buying a graded bullion coin. And it's just a regular maple. Also, I was just showing you some things that I do pay attention to, my prices, and I wanted to see what's coming up. So this is a, how much do you think this is going for at auction?
Maybe $50.
No. It's just.
Well, they were going for $50 recently.
Okay, at an auction I just saw, and I wrote this went for $30 at an auction, and I spent $55 on this. $50 at an auction that I'm talking not a YouTube auction. I'm talking at a regular auctions houses that you see. And this particular one happened to be in Michigan that I visit a lot. And I just wanted to kind of see the prices that were going to see if I wanted to put this in auction. So it went for $30, and then of course you have a buyer's premium, which is I think 10% plus if your state has taxes and shipping. So that's how much that person paid for this. But yet the seller also had to pay a seller's fee to the auction and whatever else. So this they probably made what, about maybe $20 off it, or they got $20 for this.
They lost money.
They lost money big time.
So more than $20 when it came out.
Yeah. So, but I purchased this at a YouTube auction for $50 plus $5 shipping. So
what we're telling you guys is, first off, we're not telling you not to buy at auctions. We're not telling you to not buy fun stuff. I've got a lot of it. I've got more than I probably should have.
If you're fine with paying the premium,
know your prices. Know your prices. Shop around before you bid on stuff. Kind of know what the prices are. Don't go crazy overbidding and getting in a bidding war with stuff. It might be fun. It might give you some adrenaline for a little bit, but it can definitely cause you issues. The key is know why you're stacking stuff. Know why you're doing this. You know, if it's for building a collection, that's great. You know, you got to have some fun with this too. If all you're buying is these rounds and you're just stacking them, or you're just buying generic bars, you're not really a stacker, in my opinion. You are technically stacking, but you're really just someone that's putting their savings in silver, and you're not really finding out a lot about all this fun stuff. To your point, Nick, you got to chase some of these things. Like chasing dates can be fun. Upgrading the quality of your coins can be fun. Going from raw to getting them graded can be fun. But make sure you know what you're getting yourself into, and make sure you're not paying $30 to grade something and lose money on it.
And that's a whole nother ball game right there in my beginning, where it was an expensive lesson to learn, but I learned it very quickly because there was one program in Gypsy Wolves, and I went, and they were always telling us to grade these coins that they found. And don't you put his comment up on the screen, please. No, do not put his comment. But he knows who I'm talking about, and gave us some bad advice. And I learned, and I did it, but then I learned very quickly what not to do and how to save us. If I was to tell younger me first is to have a plan, know my exit strategy on what I would do. And if that exit strategy is going to work even before I start buying anything.
Yeah.
Have your expectations. Know your expectations. Yeah.
Nick, this goes with all investing, period. Whatever you do from investing standpoint, you need to know your exit strategy first. And then the second thing you need to understand is you want to buy low, sell high. And then the third thing you want to do is you want to be able to, it's the most important one.
Expectations. Don't have too high of expectations, because you'll be let down.
In a minute, but what you're really trying to do when you're looking from an investment standpoint is you're trying to, it's when you buy. You make your money when you buy, period. So if you're buying real estate, if you're buying stocks, if you're buying collectible coins, if you're buying silver, if you're buying gold, every one of those things that you might be buying, you need to really do your research. And the hardest thing for us is humans are emotional. So when price goes up and you set a price, Nick, of 15% being your limit for 10th ounce gold, those premiums are going to go up again. And we're going to see premiums get larger at some point again in the future. And so Nick's going to have to decide, shoot, I made my new mark 13% and it's not hitting it. Am I going to up it or am I just not going to buy?
Well, that's Gypsy Wilson. I go, and you'll hear me often talk about, I changed my strategy. Go look back, because what is working for you today may not work for you tomorrow, or what worked yesterday is not working for me today. So I'm constantly looking and reevaluating what I'm doing all the time.
It totally changes, guys. And I'm looking at stuff. A lot of what I'm taking to the Long Beach Coin Show is stuff that I don't want anymore. Okay. There's nothing wrong with it. It's good stuff. It's still in perfect condition. I've changed my philosophy on a few of these things. But I've also sent a few coins in for grading and it's been fun. And some of them I've made a little bit of money on, others it's kind of a break even for right now. But you got to buy what you like too, but just, do your homework and be careful and reevaluate your strategy and make sure that you feel like you're getting what you want out of it.
I'm not educated on the 1988 Gold Eagle. If it's just bullion, I probably wouldn't, unless it's something very special with it. And I don't know how much, is it an ounce? Is it a tenth?
Yeah. Frankly, I wouldn't be buying graded stuff, in my opinion, unless it's over 100 years old. That's just how I kind of like to roll.
Well, but I would not send that in for grading from the information that I'm looking at right now. If it's bullion and I don't know if it's a rare date, I would have to know a lot. There's a lot of things that go through my mind before I do something when it comes to whether I'm going to send it in for grading or purchase. And it's case by case. It really is on everything that comes through for me anyways.
For sure. And then I just want to say 949, thank you for the stickers. I did get those in the mail, so those did come through.
But, again, it's a lot. I do a lot of reflection. I'm always constantly looking, because our budgets are going to change. Our minds are going to change on what we like, what's working for us, and exit strategies. I mean, there's a whole, a lot of things that we should be doing.
So maybe the last thing, Nick, is be careful of FOMO is maybe the better thing just to say. When you
watch your auctions too, and listening to people, don't listen to us. I mean, listen, you go do your due diligence. I mean, listen, we're going by with what our experience is.
We have our own experiences on this stuff, guys, and you want to go build your own experience and you want to learn from other people too. There are things that I will overpay for because I want it and I can't find it and it's cool and I'm going to hold on to it for a very, very long time. There's other things that I did that with that I didn't really like that much, and I shouldn't have done that. So we can all be very emotional on things. So it's good to set, limits. It's good to set goals on percentages of, how much you're willing to pay for things or how much premium. And then you got to have a strategy. Why are you buying this? Is it to go on display? Is it because it's cool? Or is it because you think it's going to help you in the future? So
they're doing tip off, but
all right, we gotta let Nick go.
It is hard. I saw emotions. Now, a lot of the stuff that I'm purchasing, like this, just regular silver rounds, I have no emotion. But I have to tell you what, I'm guilty of emotion when it comes to my walking liberties. I'm really emotional, and that's because it was the kill of the chase. It was like I worked hard to find the dates. I worked hard on some of those to afford, to where maybe I went out without something that week, or I took tons of bottles. I mean, it was harder, and I worked harder to get them. So I am emotional about those. But again, if it was to feed my family and those walking liberties, it's going to be, I would go without food before I'd let my kid go without food. And
she's
some days
else before she gets to the walking
and
liberty.
Some days ask Gypsy, I'd be in an auction on a coin that I wanted, and I'd be like, okay, I don't mind going 7 days without lunch. I will save my lunch money. But
maybe last thing right here is this is a good point. You're going to open up plastic if you had to. So here's the deal. If you buy stuff you love, unless you think society is going to completely just be over, it'll probably be worth more money again down the road when society comes back together and people have auctions again and collectability if we get into a real crazy SHTF. So you want to have stuff that you can use during the SHTF that you don't care so much about, like these.
Yeah.
Things like this. You want to have that so you can hold so you don't ever have to sell your walking liberties. You want to be able to protect those.
No, and I'll do my constitutional first. But there's a whole number of things that we could go with this topic. And I mean, it was very brave of us to do it, try to put it in an hour. I think we tried to get a lot of information out of there.
All right, I gotta run. You gotta run. Everybody,
let's let them know that we won't be back next Thursday. And when we do have another live stream, we will let everybody know that we're not quitting and we're going to still do live streams together. It's just a matter of when we're going to be able to do them because it is summertime, but we will give people plenty of notice.
Yeah, so I may start doing more live streams on my channel. Not a lot, but more, 1 or 2 a week. I'm not having the time to get out and do my videos, so you guys watch out for that too. There'll be notifications on when that goes up. I don't know how consistent I'll be able to do it as far as the time and day. But summer can be a little tricky. I've got a lot of business travel coming up too, so I've got to kind of do it where I can. But maybe we'll have some surprise appearances or meetups. We're not sure yet.
Yes, locations.
Locations. So we're gonna try to figure out some cool stuff for the summer though for you guys.
So thank you guys, and we'll see you soon. We'll let you know.
Right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.